This morning's scripture passage comes from Luke's Gospel, the 21st chapter, and in it, it's a very interesting moment as Christ speaks to his disciples and followers about what's going on, what's happening. He notices that in the temple they're admiring the expensive stones and votive offerings, and he turns their thoughts to when the end time comes. And I think this contrast is important, not only then, but for all of the span of time. How do we spend our time? I mean, this is the end of the liturgical year. And so it begs the question, how has your year gone? How has it been? Have you spent your time, as Scripture said from Matthew 25 just Sunday, have you clothed the naked and fed the hungry? Have you visited the sick? Have you taken care of your neighbor, or have you spent your time admiring stained glass windows and votive offerings? Have you spent your time as a Catholic, and use that word Catholic as a verb, to do the work of Christ, to act in ways that are helpful and lifts up the church and its people? Or have you spent your time admiring stained glass windows? You see, I've said before, Sunday is more than just this conversation. Sunday is about readying us for the rest of the week to walk with the poor on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, to walk with those, to be with those, to sit in presence with those who are ill. The ministry of presence. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't write checks. Of course we do. But that's, quite frankly, more often than not, the easy part. The difficult part is to spend ourselves, to give ourselves to the moment. And I know there are times when we are so busy earning that we forget sometimes to return. We earn, and yet we must return. Return to our society, ourselves, in those moments that we can, when our earning is done and our returning begins. Look, this time of the year, this end of the liturgical year, causes us to reflect more than any other time. How are we going to do next year? Are we going to be converted again and again and again and again? Are we going to spend our time loving and preparing ourselves? As the scripture passage 2 weeks ago spoke about the virgins and the oil, and 5 had oil and 5 did not. And when the bridegroom came, the 5 with oil went to greet him, and the 5 without oil said, well, give us some of your oil. Those with oil said, no, we can't. Often we wonder why they aren't sharing. After all, that's what Christ asked us to do, is to share with our brothers and sisters. But let's look at that oil. You see, the oil that the 5 virgins had was their good works. The things they had done, the moments they had clothed the naked and fed the hungry and gave water to those who were thirsty. That's the oil. You see, we make our own oil. And this is what we greet with Christ, the good works and then there is this place that has been prepared for us. I cannot give someone else my good works, nor can they give me their good works. So this question right now is, how's your oil doing? How did you do last year in making your oil in preparation for the coming of Christ? How will your oil be this year, the one that's coming? Do you need an oil change? Do we need to make certain that we're not running on empty? Being Catholic is a verb. So that's why we wake up every morning, say to our precious God, Lord, What are we going to do today? Yes, and Bobby and Holly, thank you for watching, and thank you. Peace.